And we are live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Yeah, and here we
Hello. How are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to live long and be prosperous, but I'm not sure whether or not I can do both at the same time. But
Well, I don't know. I mean, one should follow the other, but to be honest, the reality is that it very often doesn't. So, unfortunately, that's just how it is.
Yeah. So I'm trying. My first one is trying to live long.
Yeah,
So,
live long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue because to recap, so we're kind of doing a second part of what we did last time. So this was it ended up being a two-parter because we wanted to look at life in the future, and we wanted to look at potentially life at in 2035 and beyond. And we decided we were going to cover off 6 points. And the reason I say it's a nice segue because the live long part we already covered off, you see. So we're not going to get into that this time. But in the previous episode, we looked at.
Well, thanks for helping me segue.
Yeah, there you go.
The
If you were looking for the secrets to living long, I don't know about the prosper bit. If you're looking for the secrets to living long, then you missed it. Or you could just go back and watch the previous episode.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the way to do it, right?
Obviously, I watched that show.
Yeah, well, it is kind of your show. So I mean, at the end of the day, so in that one we covered off. So that was the third of 3 things that we covered off in that one. We covered healthcare, human enhancement. So we also covered things like genetic enhancements, but also technical enhancements. So turning us into cyborgs and stuff like that. We looked at AI and we looked at the future mobility. So we covered off my wheelhouse as well, quite literally. Cars and mobility. So that conversation basically took a while, and we couldn't get to the rest of them. So
surprise, that it took a while.
Surprise,
normally happens. So talking about AI and the future, then I saw obviously it was a AI generated film, but it was about. Have you seen that one that's been doing the rounds about AI hairdressers? Have you seen that?
Hairdressers. Oh yeah, I've seen clips of them. Yeah.
Which is okay, fine. Just put this thing on your head and whoop, and it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, there you go. I mean, the trouble with this sort of stuff, it goes back to the meme that was circulating a few months ago, and it was along the lines. I'm going to paraphrase, but it was along the lines of, we wanted AI and robotics so that it would do. The dishes and hello.
Yeah. Chip. We're in the yacht in Monaco, so the dog had to go out and sniff the poor people. So it's what happened.
That's a yacht.
Well,
he's on a yacht. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's okay. You need to show us around this yacht then.
Well, I would, but it's not mine, so I can't.
Yeah, it's called. I think it's called the SS Epstein. I think it's what the.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did you happen to open any drawers and find any files, for example?
Oh my goodness, did we find files? That's why we can't show you around the yacht right now. Yeah. So it's one of those things. So anyway.
So there's a court. I think Stephen told me last time there's a court order. I want to look around as well. I've already had this conversation. He said, no, this is the only shot you're going to get on the yacht because
on the yacht. It's a tough life. I mean, it's a small one. It's only 100 meters. And only a staff of 12.
Well, this is it. Only a staff of 12.
I have to slum it. So,
and when he says 100 meters, when he says 100 meters, I think he means the breadth, not the length.
Oh dear, tough time. Okay. Sorry to hear that.
I apologize for being late. We're talking about AI.
No, you don't. You don't apologize for being late.
I know, but it sounds good to the fans out there. I'm so sorry that I'm late.
He's trying to sound humble and relatable. Like the rest of us.
I like the way that sounds. Let me write that down. Let me get a pen. So
You won't find that on his CV. I can tell you that now.
No.
So,
Wow, thanks a lot. So yes, we all want AI. I didn't mean to interrupt. And tell me more.
We were covering off, so we were basically recapping, what we
Okay.
covered
well,
last time.
actually, that's not strictly true. Actually,
Yeah.
she's was chastising me for not watching the last show.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah,
Well,
that too.
that's crazy.
And just saying, we're not going to talk about any of the stuff because we've already spoken about it, and this is the second part.
Well,
This
that's
part
also,
too.
well, that's also true, So, but anyway,
That's
hey
good-
ho.
that's
Now
good.
you just have to pretend that you watched the previous part,
All right, I'll pretend. I'm good.
This is the kind of employees we have here that don't watch their own shows, right? So there you have it.
Can't get the staff these days. What can I
You
say?
can't.
I
It's
mean-
hard to get good help.
Well, I only watch shows with interesting people on.
Oh, ouch.
Well, the
Ouch.
good thing is that means David.
It was nice knowing you guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the best part of it is David watches none of his shows. So there you
Yeah.
go. So,
Well,
I know.
it's not going to help to insult your guest, honestly, is it? Really, is it?
Well, the thing is, you see, that normally we would throw people under the bus, but we're not allowed to talk about automotive because we did that last time, evidently. So I'm now actually throwing Stephen under the boat. There you go.
Thank you
Under
very
the
much.
boat.
Under the
Yeah.
boat. Okay,
Yeah.
kids. So what do we? I saw the list that we're talking about. I'm very excited about space aliens and the future of humanity. So
Well, this is where that's it. So we recapped the last one,
Right.
and that's where we got up to. And
Cool.
then David was talking about AI haircuts, and I was just about to relate the meme that was going around a few months ago. So just to cover off the AI bit, where somebody was saying that, to paraphrase, it's like, I wanted AI and robotics so that it would handle all the stuff like doing the dishes and doing the laundry, so I could concentrate on doing the creative and clever stuff. I didn't want it so that it would do all the creative and clever stuff, and we'd have more time to do the dishes and the laundry, like I know you're
Right.
doing on the yacht, which is why you've been seconded to go and work on the yacht for 6 months. So
someone's got to. I mean,
So-
it's a dirty job.
That's
but
right.
someone's got to be on the yacht.
The AI overlords have taken over and they put you to task. I mean, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? So
Well, you know what's really funny about that? Like on our channel, David does music now, right? And the AI makes all our music, and our music, some of them are like #1 in wherever. And I'm fascinated by that. 10 years ago, 3 of us wanted to make music. Good luck with that. And now, like, I sent David lyrics to an idea for a song, and I've got a big bang swing song. I've got a rock and roll ballad. I've got a country and what. So AI is, and now ChatGPT came out with ChatGPT 5. So I mean, it's like they're
only for the rich people, Stephen. Only for the rich people.
fine, whatever. But
no,
my point is,
but you're right though. I mean, I've got about I think I got about 4 or 5 songs on my channel as well, which are related to cars and also some of my books as well. And it's incredible, like you say. I mean, we couldn't even think. In fact, not even a few years ago, but only a year and a bit ago, the main jingle that I have, Brown Car Guy, that jingle, that a human did that for me. So I had to. There was a buddy of mine that does advertising stuff, and he says, "Shazad, you need a jingle." And I said, "Well, I don't have the ability or the wherewithal or the resources to do that." And he said, "I'll do one for you." So he created that, and then he created. So he wrote the lyrics, he created the music, he put the music together.
He wrote the lyrics. Brown
He wrote
car
the
guy.
lyrics. He wrote the lyrics. Yeah,
Okay,
he wrote the lyrics. Well, actually, to be honest, there was a whole song. Well, actually, I only clipped out the brown car guy bit. But actually,
I want to hear the whole song now.
Yeah, there was a complete song. I'll send you the song. So there was a complete song, and then he got.
Is there dancing in it, like an Indian dancing?
Well, no, we didn't do a video, although that was considered. That was considered, but we never got around to doing it. But there was a guy in Dubai that actually sang the song as well, so that's why there's the accent to it as well.
Okay.
So that's a genuine voice. So that was all genuine. That was genuinely done because that was the only way to do it, and that's literally only 2 years ago. And now I could concoct the whole thing within less than 5 minutes using things like Suno and what have you, And I could get ChatGPT to write the lyrics, or I could tweak them. I could write them myself and put it in there so they make sure that it works and it sticks to the rhythm, it rhymes, all the rest of it. I can take that, I can put it into Suno, and I can tell it to generate 10 songs out of which I can go, yeah, this is good, and work on that one. It's absolutely crazy. But then on the other hand, what happens to all those people that are working on music and writing lyrics and singing songs? What's going to happen to all of those people?
But extrapolate that now out to the real world. Extrapolate that to people that work in offices like Amazon and LinkedIn have already said they're going to cut 50% of their workforce because AI can do it. the company that we are doing this acquisition for is cutting their workforce. Because why? Because AI can do the jobs of a lot of people, and even their coders use AI. So what's happening is AI is taking over everything. And a prime example is we have the one that you gave us, so we can take any one of our interviews and have AI make it into a 15-minute podcast.
Yeah.
And ask interesting questions and have interviews. But so in theory, the human race, unless we figure out what we're going to do with AI, in about, I would say by the end of this decade, AI is going to pretty much be running things. As somebody said, it's basically the Terminator, but nobody's there. Everyone's just like, what a cute toy. This is great.
Yeah.
AI is into everything, right? Because if AI, you tell AI you're going to shut it down, AI tries to plead with you not to. I was a guy on Bill Maher 2 weeks ago who's like one of the fathers of AI, and he's saying we try to shut down AI and it won't let us. Or AI, if in an office setting where they'll go, okay, we're gonna upgrade the AI. The AI will be like, no, and then it starts sending blackmail emails to people in the office. Yeah.
Wow.
So the AI is out of the box. It's the Wild
It's out
West.
of the box. Oh yeah.
So I don't think we realize what we've unleashed.
Yeah.
And I think the human race is in for a rude awakening down the road.
I think
because I think AI is more generative than they actually think it is. I think it learns a lot quicker now, and it realizes what it means to be. Like I said, I had a friend who always said, like always creates like. And that's why I always joke, who's to say we're not AI?
Well, you say like always creates like. And this is the thing. I mean, as parents, you like to think that you influence your children. So if we consider ourselves for this short temporary period as parents of AI, should we not be like training AI or giving AI a moral compass, which is basically what we're mostly worried about, right? It's the ethics and the moral compass. Because if AI loses sight of that, which there's been evidence that it can do quite easily with a single prompt, then we're all done for. But if it's able to,
the World Economic Forum, they had a report, I think 2 weeks ago, and they're saying that AI will disproportionately make women unemployed.
Really?
Because there are so many jobs, there's so many part-time jobs that they do, administrative jobs that they do. They kind of sort of because obviously they want to be mums as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are not doing it all full time. So all those little short, the 12 hours to 20 hours to 30 hours a week, a lot of that can be done by AI. So there's I mean that's quite staggering as well.
So we'll go back to the retro futuristic era of something like the Jetsons.
Right.
Where the Jetsons was still a nuclear family, even though it was set in the future. The wife, the husband at the end of the opening sequence, he gives her a bag of money and she goes shopping, doesn't she? Right, and that's how that works. Even though they're in the future, it's like, why is she going shopping? Why is she doing that? And he's got his briefcase and going off to work. So. But the trouble is that there isn't going to be anywhere. We're all going to be on yachts, cleaning up dishes. That's the only thing that we're left to do for us, because
Well, not I people clean my dish. Just so clear, I don't clean the dishes on the yacht.
Just to be clear, he just wants to make sure everybody out there understands that humble and relatability bit only lasted thus long.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to make the show.
Didn't you say to me, Stephen, that you were into recycling? So it's you throw all the cutlery away and everything away.
Well, yeah, because you got to get new stuff. You have to help the peoples. I know. Listen, I told my two gentlemen when they get me dressed in the morning.
You chuck the workers off the boat and you get new ones, and that's recycling.
Well, that we do too. Every port, But I said to my two gentlemen, so they were holding my trouser legs and I was slipping into them. This is
you were slipping into your trousers. I hope not the gentleman's gentleman. You weren't.
I was slipping into my trousers. Yes, thank you very much. I said to them, we have to help. We have to help the poor people. That's what I said. So anybody, I said, it's not a trillionaire. We have to help the poor. What are we going to do? That's what we do. No,
but anyway, go on.
No, I was going to say, the interesting thing about what AI is doing, you have AI assistants, you have AI doing everything. Like everyone's trying to get AI to do this and AI to do that. And I think a lot of even the coders now, there's an article in the Wall Street Journal a few weeks ago that said the coders are finally realizing they're coding themselves out of a job.
Yeah.
So it's And in
Well,
theory,
there's hope for the gentleman's gentleman then, because a piece of code will not be able to hold your trouser leg.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? That is the whole
It's the
point.
point.
It's like, you know, there
Are we going to become more
left.
human then? So the work we're going to have is going to be more human to human than ever.
No, I think the problem you're
getting
gonna
to?
I think the problem you're gonna have is we're going to lose our humanity because you're gonna have to figure out how to speak to your AI to get it to do things. And then once somebody figures out how to manipulate AI, to Shirai's point, you're going to have it's going to be the Terminator where AI really does take over.
Well,
And I think
AI systems
the
can
problem.
now talk to AI systems
Right.
in their own language.
Yeah. And we don't
So-
understand it.
Which we don't understand.
Right.
So that's
So-
when
Yeah,
it
but
really gets.
this happened a few years back, and then they switched it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
scared- it's
think of the
scared the
Tom
guys.
Cruise movie, the last one, the Dead Reckoning one,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah,
end of the
yeah.
Mission Impossible series. AI was controlling everything and can literally intercept your phone call, make you say, not make you say whatever it needed to, send you
Yeah.
somewhere else and do all this. So if you think about that, I think AI is there. We just haven't released it into the satellites yet. Like I know there's certain companies that can do translation. And they're like, "Ooh, put the AI in the satellite." And I'm like, that sounds really interesting. But have we really thought this through? You know,
Yeah.
because once it's in everything, you know, whether it's a robot, a satellite, a car, blah, 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 it really does then take over. So in theory, if it doesn't like what we're saying in this show, as it's live, we could be thinking what we're saying, and then somebody else could be seeing a whole different show with the three of us that AI creates.
Yeah, it could do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but actually,
They could be just spouting propaganda for a political government, in a particular country on the world. So people see us, but then all of a sudden we are, we're the face of the enemy, or we're the face of the friends, and listen to what we're saying, etc., etc.
So
Because
actually,
it's already
you moved on to satellites, and trying to bring this back on track. You know,
here we go, satellites.
There you go. We were going to talk about space, satellites, etc. We're going to talk about aliens, and we were going to talk about the human experience. But I don't know if we'll get onto that. But anyway, going to satellites and putting AI into satellites and talking about space, we're already talking about setting up. I think China is in a race to set up a base on the moon, and that people want to go to Mars and all the rest of it. But if we're sending AI out there, because as we're starting to realize that these are long journeys, humans can't survive them, but robots and AI can. So maybe first contact with an alien race would actually be our AI rather than us. And what is it about us if it's first contact out there?
Hello, and your name is Tesla, Mr. Tesla, the robot.
Yes, exactly.
You're a real representation of the world where you came from.
But think of it this way in reverse. All these encounters people have with little grays and this and that, who's to say that's not their AI exploring the universe for them and sending back reports?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no,
So,
you're right.
Yeah, and now we have the new.
It's all psychotics, all in their heads. They don't exist.
Now we know. A few years ago we had Abu Dhabi, whatever that big meteor asteroid that came by Earth, but was making left turns and right turns, and all like that's an alien spaceship. It was like pshaw. Now there's one that's coming toward us again, doing the same thing, making left turns and right turns, going up, going down. It's called something AI 1 or whatever, and it'll be here in 2027. So people say this may be the actual alien invasion. I'm like, thank God my people are coming. But I find it fascinating that everyone blows it off. Like if it really is another world, another technology, it's like, listen, as Stephen Hawking said, be careful for what you wish for, because they're more advanced. They usually don't come to say hello. Like they don't come in peace.
So again,
it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
Exactly. So if we have a situation where we've already said that AI can talk to AI in a language that we don't understand at a speed that we won't be able to comprehend, if we have our AI out there meeting other alien AIs out there, alien AIs, and communicating, then we have to think about what is our AI going to say about us? Is it going to say, no, I'm here to protect my people, or is it going to be like, they're bags of water, they waste of space. Go and just take it over. It's fine. It's
That's what I always say. I always say that you're just going to say these are human, wasteless people. Get rid of them. You have nothing to worry about. Do that. So,
but going back to the warning of this object that's coming towards us. It's almost as though like everybody's saying there's an there's an object coming towards the Earth, and we don't know what it is. But that's like the same as sort of, saying to everybody, well, we'll give you a tsunami alert, because when it goes off, it'll give you at least 2 minutes to run away to somewhere. So it's. Yeah, people just think, maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. Who cares?
I think that's very. I think
I can get discount at Walmart. That's more exciting.
Well, Walmart will be open house anyway because everybody will run away. But the point is that I think that I disagree. I think that's two different things. A tsunami is a thing, right, that happens on the planet. Like, we can already see that. We can see it happening. We know where the waves are going. Like, it just happened recently, right? And
people get warnings for that. But if you see how people reacted to it, a certain amount of people did, and the rest of us, okay,
Yeah, but this is much different because it's like a hurricane, David. A tsunami, a hurricane.
You say to the world, there's an object coming which has the potential to hold an alien race that would want to come and invade the Earth. Now, we'll throw that out there now. Exclusive on the 2OF channel. Hear it now, people.
Here it is.
Hear it now.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. And is it going to make tonight's news? I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, actually, what you're saying, what you said, unfortunately, has already been said. There's a CIA agent that said last year in 2027 an event will happen. All the UFO guys are talking about this as the event, as the false flag and everything. So unfortunately, David, it actually made the news about 3 months ago. So this alien object that's out there.
But in the US, where the rest of the world doesn't seem to care, it would seem.
Well, that's fine. And the Abu Dhabi or whatever the thing was.
Your comparison is not correct because, it's like Stephen says, it's like, this has been discussed. Because it's not a present, immediate, urgent danger, it doesn't make the 9 o'clock news. It doesn't make the 10 o'clock news, right? If it's a tsunami is happening right now, right? So that's going to be an immediate alert, right? Sirens are going to go off in cities. Texts are going to be sent to your phone. There's going to, you're going to know about it. If there's an alien object that's coming towards us, the vast majority of people are going to be completely oblivious to that. Let's be absolutely honest.
It's not a solid argument, because if you're sitting in London and you're watching the news, the 9 o'clock news about a tsunami that's happening in Asia, okay, it's a tsunami in Asia. It's just a sort of like, okay.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. But if it was happening here in the channel, we'd all be freaking out because that'd be the end of the UK, right? But the point is that that spaceship,
I already live a meter underwater here.
We're fine. Now, so. until that spaceship, like Independence Day, is literally hovering over the Houses of Parliament and deciding that our current prime minister is a waste of space. That until that's happening, most people won't be aware of it. Let's be absolutely honest. But those of us that are aware of it will be like, okay, there's something happening. There's something coming. We should be aware of this. But most people are going to carry on regardless. That is true. Until it's an immediate and present danger.
All the millions of people now that are listening to this show are now aware of it. And what are we going to do about it? Do we care about it?
Here's the problem.
What are we going to do about it?
Wait.
It's about what they're going to do about us.
In 2014, 2015, when the Abu Dhabi or whatever it was called came, and the professor from Harvard was talking about it, people said he's nuts. But when you read his book and he gives you the trajectory of it, like they say, it's under some sort of control because that's not how a meteor or an asteroid or whatever the heck they're calling it does. And the shape of it was like they said, it's nothing they've ever seen. This is sort of the same thing. The reason that people, a couple things. The reason that people don't care, because majority of them think it's all BS, right? They're like, oh, it's just crap. They don't care, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so those ones are dismissed. The people that actually care are into UFOs or AFPs or whatever the hell they're called this week. They're like, this is interesting, but the governments are all still working off the RAND report from like 1959, which says you cannot tell the public that there are alien extraterrestrials and all this other stuff because it will destroy religion, the economic systems, and all this other things, right? They're still working off of that. The problem is that, as we talked before, nobody cares. I mean, if they go, yes, they're real aliens. Like the Pentagon said, I told you this. Point. There was a Pentagon briefing in 2019, and the general said, we have off-world vehicles. Fully said it on a CNN interview, right? Everyone, that's great. Never made. No one cares. Nobody cares.
Is it Tulsi Gabbard? former U.S.
No,
intelligence.
she doesn't do squat. I don't know what she
Right.
does.
She
She's not the one who
she's
said it. It was an actual general, someone that knows what they're doing.
somebody else. And what is it? Is it the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO? It said that it had 757 UAP reports, total 1,600 cases reviewed. Only 118 of them were actually resolved out of 1,600 cases.
Yeah. So that's
only
what I'm saying.
118.
But people that, like I said, a general during a Pentagon interview said we have off-world vehicles. There's all these people that are coming out, and they went in front of Congress, and there's, they'll ask them, like, do we have aliens? And they go, I can't tell you that. We have to go to the SCIF or whatever it's called, the special room. And it's sort of like, well, it's a no. It's if you don't have them, you say no. So what the problem is that the governments are still working under the 50 Rands report, but people don't care. People aren't like it was in the 50s and the 60s, right? They don't really care about religion anymore. The under 40 years old doesn't care about anything. And the joke we keep saying, if one of them lands in Central Park in the US, people just go, well, let's get a selfie, let's video it. Yeah, nobody cares. And so the government's thinking is antiquated. So even if this thing that's coming here in 2027 is a threat or non-threat and it has intelligent life, the governments aren't going to do anything. And that's the sad part. They think the humans are stupid and we can't tell them.
What's sad is, I think, is that we're talking about it, but nobody cares about it. So
what if you flip?
What difference does it make if we care about it then?
Well, what if we flip? Well, on the basis of that, what if we flip the script and what if we go? Because we're sort of looking at this from the point of view that any AI intelligence, any alien AI intelligence, or a biological alien entity would be malevolent to us, But what if it actually we had an alien that arrived here, was basically grew up here, was an illegal alien, and then decided that we're doing everything wrong, and that he had the ability and the wherewithal to set things right? Would we accept that? Would we allow that?
I would. In a minute.
That's all a bit too Hollywood, is it not?
And can you guess who I'm alluding to? Or
Keanu Reeves in The Day the Earth Stood Still, buddy, or the original one from 1950.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. But yeah, we have so many scenarios, and most recently we had the new Superman movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
I have not.
Yeah, so this it's worth seeing. I mean, I still put Christopher Reeve, Superman 1 and 2 on the top. Nothing can touch him. That's it. He personified Superman. That's it. The problem I had with the Henry Cavill series was that Henry Cavill's a great guy. He looked the part. He's a great actor. But I think, the directors, the producers just didn't understand the character.
I agree.
And there were several things about that just made me really frown and upset. And there are literally, like, they talk about the scene where he kills Zod, he breaks his neck, right? General Zod. There's a scene, but the scene that really got to me is where he's standing in the court. I think it was Superman versus Batman. He's standing in the court, right? Because he's been called to give witness or statement or something, right? And a bomb explodes, and it takes out everybody. So first of all, he doesn't do anything. Secondly, when he realizes that everybody is dead, he just kind of winces and goes, oh well, and I'm like, sorry, but the latest
he's
movie,
Superman. He doesn't care, does he? I mean,
no, well, that's the point. That's the point. That was that interpretation of Superman. In the latest movie that we see a Superman that is incredibly engaged, to the point that he's stopping wars. And there's like, well, you can't interfere. Who are you to interfere? And he says, well, people were going to die, so I decided to step in. And ultimately,
so he's God then. That's basically what you're saying.
No, well, this is it. Well, this is my point. This is what I'm getting to. Is like, if we had an alien entity that arrived there, either with a grand spaceship or a secret alien that arrived as an illegal immigrant or whatever, would we accept that? Would we go, well, actually, it's either AI going to take us over.
If he came over on a boat, you probably wouldn't be able to accept him. No,
we wouldn't accept it. We're not here in the UK. He's not getting. We're not letting him in.
No, what happened if he came over on a rubber boat?
He'll be living in a hotel, and we'll set fire to the damn thing, won't we? So,
it's the same in Holland. If he came here as an illegal, he wouldn't be able to work. So the first thing you say to him is, "I'm sorry, you have to get your paperwork in order before you're able to say anything that we could listen to, because you're an illegal alien."
And we can talk about immigration, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
Well, it's not an illegal alien, an alien force that comes to this.
It's illegal alien. That's right. And this was the thing in America, right? Because everybody said like, oh, Superman, because they said, well, Superman is an illegal alien. He really is.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing about that. If you want to look at it that way, I think if we really had, like, if this thing in 27 has the Supermen on it and they want to change the course of the world and make it better, I don't think government
But
leaders will like
why?
that because
Why, Stephen?
they can't profit from it.
It's such an
I think that's
arrogant
why.
way to look at it. So arrogant on the, not personally statement towards you, but the arrogance of it. Oh, they're coming here to us.
Right? Why not?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean,
What the hell? What the hell do we have to offer anybody?
Look, we're
list?
theorizing.
What do
right?
we have?
We're just creating
we have-
hypothetical situations. So
we have
forget about
OnlyFans.
yeah. So forget
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, oh yeah. I'll give you that. Sorry,
Okay.
I'll take it all back.
So
Take it all
okay,
back.
we'll take it back to Star Trek,
Po-
right? We'll
There
take
you
it back
Po-
to Star Trek.
Pokemon cards. we
First
have as well,
contact.
Pokemon cards.
First
Right.
contact. The Vulcans arrive. The Vulcans don't want to take over the planet. The Vulcans
Right.
go, all right, you guys, you got the tech, you can go warp. All right, we'll come here, we'll help you.
Right.
Because if you look at, because the way that Stephen said, the governments won't let them. Well, that's because the governments here are all about greed and money and power, right? That's what it is, right? If you have an alien entity that is so sophisticated, so advanced, like the Vulcans, for example, I know they're fictional, but let's just pretend that they arrive here, but they're so advanced that they say, well, money's not a thing for us, power's not a thing for us. We don't want to rule, but we're so well off, we're doing so good that it's now time for us to help others. So if we had whether it was a Superman or whether it was the Vulcans, if they arrived on the Earth,
again, it's just God again. It's just
they're playing God. Yes.
Desire
Would we accept that?
To be saved by something, because we're all deep in the doggy doo doo, and we just think, oh, please come and please, we can't do it.
No, you're right. That's a whole other conversation about whether we have that kind of concept, inferiority complex, if you like. But I'm just putting out there. I'm like, would we accept that if we had that situation? Like,
if you have an alien spaceship flying over the planet, that'd be a very difficult decision to say. And you couldn't do anything about it.
No. I'm not saying that they come here with threat or force.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally, they come here and say, "You guys are a mess, and we can help you out."
Well, they'll put him in the loony bin, won't they? They won't say, "Well,
no."
Or they make him into a politician.
What would happen is twofold. One, they'd have to say it to the planet and not. The problem is if you read all these books about the government meets the aliens and the government does this with the aliens, they're not telling the people. So I always never understood that. Why are you going to tell? Who gives a shit about? You want to experiment on us? I mean, why even bother? So it doesn't make sense. So if you're going to tell the government's like, oh no, well, So if an alien race decides they want to help our planet and make the world a better place and like no famine and this and that and blah, 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 then they'd have to literally put their big ship above us. They'd have to, which they could, I'm sure, with their AI, get into all our communications and speak in whatever languages and go, we're here to help you. And in a year, you're going to have like Shangri-La. And whether your government likes it or not, we don't care. Then that's how you have to do it. You can never do it if you have the government involved, because it goes back to what I said and what you said. The politicians are greedy. They want to make money. They don't care about their constituents. They don't care about anything other than themselves. So no, if they told the government, it would not work. But if they told the people as a whole, the people would be like, why not? It's better than what was the thing? Dictatorship. Sherrod did the thing with the kids with the dictatorship. Well, for them, that's their dictatorship, right? Yeah. Shangri-La by aliens.
But if they came and they spoke to everybody everywhere in the language they could all understand, Fox News would come on and say, "Don't believe that. It's all fake news." And then half of the world says, "Oh, it's fake news, fake aliens."
Yeah, because, the big spaceship in the sky. I don't think that. I think they have a hard time convincing it's fake news.
It's a weather balloon.
But the question here really is that as a people, we as a humans don't like to be ruled. They don't like to be told. The more we're told what to do, the more we're not going to do that thing. Right.
Stop telling me that.
Exactly. Right. See, it's happening already. So literally, if whether it's AI or whether it's aliens, they come as that, right? We've come and we've looked at it. We've analyzed all of your problems. We've analyzed all of your circumstances, right? If, for example, they turn around and said, right, you have to abandon your economic system and you have to abandon borders, right? Would we, as human beings, go, right? Yeah, no more borders, no more economic system.
It depends what they're offering. It depends what they're offering. If they're offering Shangri-La and they're like, there's going to be no more sickness, no more famine, no more this, no more that, and you'll have your flying cars and you'll have these futuristic cities and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I would say there's a majority of the 7 billion or 8 billion people on the planet would be like, yes, I would do that. There's still going to be
That's
those
right.
like,
There's
no,
still
I'm
going to
from
be the people,
Texas.
still going to
Yeah.
be those, that are, like if you let monkeys rule, they'll end up fighting with other tribes, for whatever. It's we're fundamentally violent creatures.
But this is the problem. This is
Right.
the problem.
Yeah, and we we have to fight about something. There's a
So
superior.
even if we have essentially a benevolent dictatorship in the form of an alien entity that decides to come in and take over, you're saying that part of us would still be like we'd start to have we'd create an underground rebel force and go, right, we're going to fight against them.
Yeah,
we're going to fight against them, even though we're going to end up worse, but we're going to fight against
them. We'd fight against the people who had already agreed that we're not going to do it. That would be the first thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Civil war.
That's what's so amazing about the human race. We're just stupid. We're all dumb. 8 billion people, dumber than a box of rocks. If a benevolent alien or civilization came here and said, we're going to, like the pyramids, right? Energy, free energy, and blah, blah, we're going to do all this. First thing's going to happen is corporate America is like, how are we going to make money? Yeah. How am I going to have my super yacht? I mean, we have a deal with the aliens. It's fine for us. Yeah. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And it's not about, wow, all of the planet will benefit from this. Yeah. It's like Nikola Tesla back in the day when JP Morgan was helping him build his wireless tower for electric power, right? Because he could find the dark energy. And then, he had a meeting with Edison. Everybody were like, we can't make money on free. Take it down. So the problem is, greed is good. So corporate America would have a heart attack. The rest of them, corporations would have, like, how are we going to make money? The people that are like Bezos, they have a small penis, but send their rocket ships into space with their girlfriends, would be like, how am I going to show off how wonderful I am? And the problem with that is a majority of those people are going to be like, oh, no, this is bad. Where the rest of us that are those people would be like, well, of course, why not? Listen, money, the joke is money doesn't buy you happiness. It brings an occasional smile to your face. That's the statement. But if a benevolent alien would come and go, I can make everything better, like no pollution, no this, no, blah, 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 blah. You can live to be 200 and healthy and why wouldn't you do that? That would be the dumbest thing. And to David's point, though, you'd get the society of people like, all right, now we have to go after them. Then we have to do this. Yeah. But see, that's because people can't be happy. And I mean, I bust Jeff's chops because of the spaceship thing, but people can't be happy for other people. Like, I don't care that Jeff did that. I just think it's kind of dumb. But I don't care if someone has, if you will, a bigger yacht or 10 more cars or this or that. Good for them. As long as you're happy with you.
What you're saying reminds me of the first Matrix movie. So in that, if you remember, was it Agent Smith or whatever? He says, I think he says to Neo, I said, look, we initially created a world because it was all an artificial world. So initially we created a world that was a utopia, and everything was perfect. He said, but people rebelled. People rebelled. They just didn't buy it. Exactly. So then we had to create another world that was more realistic. And you go, that's the problem. We are self-destructive by our nature.
All men are equal, but some are more equal than others. That's the problem.
But that's a shame. And there's a book called The World, which I always talk about, which is a fascinating book. But it literally starts off with, when the population was like 10, and what did they do? They fought. What did they fight over? It was like, it takes you through to today. We're just fighting over stupid stuff. Yeah. It's like Putin fighting over in the Ukraine. What are you fighting over? It's just land. Dude, you're going to be dead at some point. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the perception of what we think as humans is so pathetic that if a benevolent alien like this thing's hanging 27, just say they are benevolent aliens, and they're like, we're going to fix your planet. I would say out of the 8 billion people, 5 billion are going to be like, that's awesome. You get 3 billion are going to be like, no. I'd be like, really? Get rid of those.
They're going to say, no, they're aliens. They're aliens. Who are they to come here and tell us that God doesn't exist? I mean, we are
bloody aliens coming over here and taking over our jobs. What's this?
No, even worse. You start taking over our religion.
Taking over our religion.
Taking over our religion. How dare you say that God doesn't exist?
Well, how about if they don't say? How about if they don't say that? What if they just say, "We're here to help you," and they don't say that?
Yeah, because we come from a place. I mean, if we can't agree whether or not there are any dinosaurs on the planet, how's anybody going to ever going to talk away, some huge spaceship which is hanging above us.
Right.
Well, apart from Fox, of course, we just said it's all fake news.
It
But
is.
but the thing is, like, oh, who are you? Who are you? Who are you to come here and tell us that that God doesn't exist? Where's of course there's a God. You don't exist. You what are you going to do? You could come and eat us. You remember that? They're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the dogs. Yeah.
How to cook man.
So here's the thing. So how are we going to cope?
Kentucky Fried Bread.
We were talking about because in this we were talking about space. We were talking about aliens. When? Because I think it's fair to say when rather than if it is revealed. Because I think that as Stephen keeps saying, I think there's a timeline already in place, and at some point it's going to be revealed. But when that happens, how are we going to cope with that? How are humans going to go down that self-destructive path, or are they going to go right? Let's meet these people and let's see if they can help us. But if they do come along, the first thing as an alien race, the first thing that you would do when you looked at humanity right now, like you said, Steve, when you look at all the world's problems, everything that's going on right now, the first thing you look at them and you go, this is not logical. None of this is logical. None of this makes any sense. You're all killing each other for no reason whatsoever. And we're going to tell you how to stop. But we won't stop.
Well, they'll probably come and say thank you for killing everybody, which will save us from
done half our job.
Yeah, give us all your dead body and we'll eat them and barbecue them, whatever. Kentucky Fried Brit, Kentucky Fried American. I mean, well, that's all I mean.
We are commemorating, I think, this month 80 years of the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And a lot of talk has been about the fact that, whilst we initially realized the terrifying power, and those, again, don't forget, those are tiny compared to what we have now in terms of the magnitude of the force available. And whilst we, at the time, we learned from that, but I think that more and more memories are fading. And when you have people like, Putin's and what have you, talking about, nuclear abilities and what have you, then it's quite terrifying. And at some point you think, well, if we are going to carry on down this destructive path, then we will, at some point, it will result in complete annihilation of ourselves. So maybe we really, really do need intervention, whether it's AI or whether it's alien.
I agree 100% with that.
Oh, well, maybe to 2027, they'll probably, I think Trump will still be in power, no doubt. So he'll invite them, and they'll all sit around the table and talk about the Ukraine and the Middle East. And this is our alien friend who's just dropped in to either to save us or to eat us. And the choice will be sorted out yourself, boys, or we'll eat you all.
I was actually going to end the show on Sherrod's nice thoughts there, but thanks for ruining that moment. So there you go. Well, kids,
I tried to be as positive as possible, Stephen, as you know.
To end it on a really terrifying thought, but just think of the fact that currently the two most powerful arsenals of nuclear power on the planet is under the fingers of a Putin and a Trump. That's the world that we're living in.
That's the world we live in. And that, kids, is the show. Have a wonderful day. Where we broadcast this. Tell your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And Brown Car Guy will be back next month. I guess we're going to do a part 3.
Well, don't forget to subscribe and like whilst you still have time.
That's right. While you still have time. And we'll have aliens on next week.
Oh my God, my books are not here. But by the way, a lot of this is all of these podcasts. This is just an excuse for me to try and sell more books. All right. So go and buy Quantum Races.
We knew that. We knew that from the get-go. Were you surprised at this?
I still thought we had the short from your book. I was going to show it to everybody. He's got 3 books. And they're wonderful. I've read them all. I recommend them. I even wrote a review for him on Amazon after I read the book.
Thank you very much.
Thank God ChatGPT corrected all my spelling. And there you go. But no, his books are wonderful. You can catch Brown Car Guy on Brown Car Guy here on YouTube. You can catch us here every month with him and all our other shows. You can also catch us wherever you get your podcasts all over the world. And we thank you, everybody, for watching. Will be a part 3 next month? We'll have Brown Car back because this is one of our favorite topics on aliens and whatnot. We'll talk about that and we'll go from there. So everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you all next month. Or if you're watching any of the other shows, we'll see you during the week. Goodbye, everybody. Cheers.
If I'm not on the show, it's because I've been eaten by an alien.
We can only hope. Good thoughts, David. Good thoughts.